we have the current stock market update for GameStop Corporation, stock ticker GME. Before we begin with today's chart analysis, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders can find this information more easily on the platform. So what we're looking at here is the hourly time frame. Each candle on this time frame represents a 1 hour trading period. And I do want to look at this time frame in particular for this video because I want to take an assessment of the moving average trend lines that are being seen on this chart, as well as the indicator reading that is being seen on this chart. Those tend to be very important. And the stock is at a bit of an inflection point. I think we can probably agree on that, whether we're bullish or bearish, because what we're seeing here is a lot of downside price movement, and it's pretty clear at this point that the stock is going to need to find some uptrend momentum here somewhere soon in order to start to avoid falling to some more significant price lows. So specifically, what I'm looking at here would be this series of exponential moving averages right here. And as we can see, for the most part, the stock has been trading below here for quite some time. This really started to happen right as that 2190 break occurred. That was really kind of the major break that we were watching for GameStop. And it was largely because there was just so much going on in this area. There's a lot of exponential moving average activity. There's historical support. There's a Fibonacci retracement level, 38.2% Fibonacci retracement zone that falls in line with this area. I mean, there was just a lot going on here. It probably looks like the chart is very messy in this area, but there's a reason for that. It's because there's so much going on there. And there's a lot that is significant in that region. But as you can see here, this is really where the share price kind of started to break down. I mean, this was the key support level, and share prices really have not been able to recover that area because we did test that from the bottom and then fail once again. So, as this occurred, the share price itself was trading below the entire exponential moving average cluster on the hourly time frame. So these are the most closely watched exponential moving averages other than perhaps the daily chart. But this would be second place. So, the fact that we're trading below here is bearish. But what we're starting to see near term here is share prices have managed to move back above the 20-hour exponential moving average. That would be this yellow line here. So it's significant because, as we can see, I haven't changed anything on this price chart here. What we were watching here was for support to start to develop at $20.30. And as we can see, this is exactly what happened. I mean, this is like textbook here. This was exactly correct. And share prices did manage to bounce from here. And now we have started to move back into the exponential moving average cluster. Now, as this occurs, I mean, if this can manage to maintain this level, I'm not entirely convinced that it can, but if share prices can maintain this level, then I would start to have more of a sideways consolidative type of view for this stock. But what really needs to happen here is we need to maintain this $20.30 support level. As we can see, this is clearly a support region here, and this was well defined here. But we really need to stay inside of this exponential moving average cluster and then possibly form a base in this region. Another thing that I mentioned yesterday was that this 2030 level does come in very close contact with that $20 psychological handle. Now, how much importance that level is really going to have here going forward is up for debate. I think that it was much more important early on when Roaring Kitty was constantly part of the discussion. But, as we can see, he's sort of fading away here. His influence and his, level of importance here, I think is highly debatable. People are coming up with all kinds of strange stories about how he's going to be on the board of GameStop. I mean, it's like, who cares? Like, why would that, who cares? Like, why would that make any difference at all? I don't see how that's causing a short squeeze or something like that. I'm just saying, I think that his influence here is diminishing greatly. And with that could be a removal of the importance of this $20 area too. It's still a psychological level that should be watched. We could still see options trading activity that's clustered right around there. So we could see some support in that area. But, in my opinion, what really needs to happen here is this 2030 level needs to maintain itself, because if you start to see a break below here, you're going to start to see stop losses that are tripped. And if that occurs, then what you start to see then is an acceleration of momentum in whichever direction the stop losses rest. Once those start getting hit, that starts to give you your next major trend direction. And in this case, it would have to be to the downside. If anybody is short this stock, I really don't think that their stop losses are going to be anywhere near that $20 level. So there are risks here to the downside. So finally, just to close out the video here, I do want to sort of quickly look at the indicator reading here, because what we're starting to see is a bit of a positive development here in the indicator reading. And this is coming in conjunction with that bounce off of 2030. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not going to break below 2030. We absolutely could, but we can see that this at least held on first test. And then in addition to that, we have to look at the indicator reading here because, again, this is the hourly time frame, so it's closely watched. And as I said previously, this downtrend line here showing negative momentum is very drastic. It's a very steep slope. And this does suggest that share prices should be able to break through that area relatively easily. And if that does occur, that would remove this downtrend condition here, this negative momentum condition. So, it hasn't happened yet, but it does look like we might be on the verge of that soon. So if share prices can sort of maintain a foothold here, even just for a brief time, I mean, even just into the close, for example, that should be enough to remove this negative momentum reading. And then the longer term trend momentum reading here is still focused on the top side. So, we did see a little bit of a breach here, but I'm comfortable enough with this bounce here that I would consider this to be a sort of a false breakout, a small false breakout to the downside. So overall, the momentum condition here could start to turn positive. What you want to see is for share prices to sort of break this up, break upward through this downtrend, and then maintain momentum with this longer term uptrend. This is a very stable reading in this uptrend here, so I wouldn't expect this really to be broken anytime soon. You would need a lot of downside price movement, I think, to break through there. It's something that possibly could happen if share prices did break below $20. So here's the current stock market update for GameStop Corporation, stock ticker GME. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market, lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership, and start trading stocks with the pros.